All right, welcome everyone to the Healthy Practice, Healthy Patients podcast. In this series, we bring to you real people with real voices and real outcomes. I'm joined here today with our guest Harry Ng. Uh, Harry, say hello to the people.
How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing good today.
Yep, yep. I first met Harry at the University of Utah Athletics Department, and at the time, we there were a few people that we were interviewing for an intern position, and the way that Harry was introduced to me before I even met him, I was told that he was the biggest University of Utah athletics fan,
Yeah.
and with that introduction, I knew that he was going to be the real deal even before the interview. And when I met you, I knew you were for real. So it's nice to be with you, Harry. Um,
Yeah, of course.
what are some updates? I'm here in Salt Lake City. Where are you at?
So I'm actually in Rockville, Maryland, which is only 20 minutes away from downtown DC.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm a little familiar with the area, having been up there. That's awesome. Is it cold that way?
No, actually it's getting warmer and warmer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
we're
like
in the.
maybe 55, 60 degree.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we would be the opposite. Well, it's pretty freezing over here.
Yeah.
We're getting poured on. Well, shoots, bro. Thanks for joining with me on this podcast. So, what you know, basically we're trying to meet real people and try to get an understanding of who they are. You want to share with us a little bit about your background and where you're from?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually originally from Hong Kong, and I moved to the US since I was 15 years old. I um, started to study in high school actually as a foreign exchange student in a high school in Idaho. It's in a town called Payette.
Oh,
I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it,
never
but
heard of it. What?
yeah, the population is like 7,000 maybe.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
What's up
so it
there?
was that.
Is it far north?
Uh, it's right next to Ontario, Oregon.
I don't know where that
So I guess it's 40 minutes north of Boise. I think that's the
Okay.
best I can describe. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, so it's in the middle of cow country.
Yep. Big change.
Oh, cool. So why were you brought to Idaho from Hong Kong?
Is it because I guess like when I was 12 or 13, I spent some time in Canada during summer, and I just love, I guess, the culture, I guess out west, like the Western culture, and just I just feel like, in Hong Kong, it's such a financial, how do I say, center of one of the financial center of the world. Is kind of like New York. So
Right.
everything is about money, so everybody's life is about money. It's about
Fast pace.
getting, what's that?
Fast pace.
Fast pace, and there's nothing else in life. And to me, I just, through that experience in Canada, I just feel like, there's so much more in life.
Oh,
There's
interesting.
so much more things you can do to make yourself happy other than just getting money.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I also just thought that, the education system, and it's very stressful to study there because you got to make it to the top, you know, and you want to get to university, you got to get really, really good score. Instead of, in the US, there are plenty of colleges, plenty of universities that you can choose from that, it's not really um, a challenge for anybody to, get a higher education. But in Hong Kong, if you don't get good grades, kind of like the SAT here, if you score badly, then it's game over for you. Like you have to, basically find another career that doesn't pay really well. So,
Okay.
I just think that that's not the way my life should go. And I just thought that, there are a lot more opportunity, a lot more, as I said, like a different way of life, a different way of finding happiness in life. So that's why I choose
Okay.
to come over here.
So even at a young age, did you feel that way when you went to Canada and
Yep.
then tran transition over to Idaho? Where in Canada did you go?
It was It was Toronto.
Toronto. Oh,
Mm,
wow.
yeah.
So that's another
Um,
major world city.
yeah, yeah, but I guess it's
Hmm.
because the family that I was staying with in Canada, they really like hiking, so we had like a really long hike. Sorry, not hiking, camping. Well, I guess hiking too, but we went on a camping trip, and it was just another experience like that I've never experienced before, and I really liked it.
Wow. And what I understand about Hong Kong is that it's a very population dense city,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's not very big, and everything is
No.
really close,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so when you're going on this camping trip, and Canada's, pretty large, pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that was a culture shock for you.
A little bit, yeah, but because I was only there for like, for the summer, so I guess it wasn't a big deal. I just
Okay.
really enjoy it. I just really enjoy, I guess, not being with my parents as well.
Gotcha. Whose idea was it to go to that trip to Toronto?
Actually, it was my dad's idea. I was staying with my dad's friend, his actually childhood friend who moved to Canada. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Neat. Um, you know, I don't know much about the health system in Hong Kong,
Mhm.
but I was curious. Were there moments when you had to go and see a dentist
Oh, all the time.
there? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I don't go to dentists myself all the time, but I mean, like, I just feel like if I need to go, it is not as big of a deal as in America.
Oh,
I think because mainly we really don't have, um, at least in my understanding, because I haven't lived in Hong Kong for a long time, and when I was living there, I was a kid, so I really don't know
yeah.
much about healthcare system. But
Right.
all I remember is like going to the dentist is not a big of a deal. It is not. It's actually pretty cheap.
Okay.
It's not a pricey thing. I mean, like, okay, compared to buying groceries or comparing to other services, yeah, it's more expensive, but it's not as expensive, nearly expensive as in the US when you have to pay out of pocket.
Ah, gotcha. So what's your family's economic background when you were a child? Well,
When I was a child, my dad was still starting his own business. So he basically works from 7 to 10. So that means 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. actually.
wow.
Um, yeah. So I barely see him like at night. Throughout the day, I only see him like maybe at around 10:30 or 11 when it's almost bedtime.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess like we didn't start off like well off, but we're like maybe let's say your average middle class.
Hmm.
Um,
And even then, it was still easy to find a dentist and get the treatment that you needed,
yeah,
even
yeah,
as a lower middle class
yeah.
family. Okay, interesting. And then did things change as your father's business picked up? Do you recall that?
Mm, I don't think anything has changed. Like it is still like you know affordable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Neat. All right. So you were saying it's a lot easier in Hong Kong to find a dentist and get the treatment that you need than
yeah,
here
yeah.
in America. What are some of the challenges that you think that you find here while you're here in America?
Well, first of all, like it's just the cost because like when I first came here, I didn't even know that my student when I was at University of Utah, I didn't know that my student tuition actually covers dental
Ah,
insurance at the health center. Well, first of all, I didn't even know there's a health center until like maybe my second year or third year. Um,
hmm,
and I didn't know anything about insurance, so I thought everything is also out of pocket. And I just heard that, dentists are just very expensive here. So if you don't go, like, at least that was my understanding that if nothing is wrong with my teeth, I'm not going to the dentist. I'm not going to spend time. I'm not going to spend, money on it.
oh, gotcha.
So,
Is
yeah.
that things that your friends, your classmates, people that you went to school with, are those things that they were sharing with you?
No, I mean, not really, but it's just, um, I guess nobody really told me like an accessible way to find, you know, dentist, or what the process is like.
Okay. So, was there a time when you did need to go to a dentist while you were in school, or fortunately you didn't need to use it?
I actually didn't go to a dentist the whole time I was in school, until I was at my master's,
Okay.
because that was when I started my master's at University of Maryland, and I was, uh, what was the word? Um, as an assistantship.
Okay.
That So I was working as a tutor at the University of Maryland. In turn, they provide you like with stipend and insurance.
Oh,
And when I heard insurance, I was like, oh, sweet. Now I have insurance. Now I can maybe go check my teeth out, because when I go, I don't need to pay anything out of pocket, I guess. So
yeah.
that's actually my first time I went to a dentist
Oh,
here
okay. Oh, awesome.
after all these years. Yeah.
So it wasn't out of need, like you had a toothache or you felt like something was wrong with your teeth. You were able to go because now you had the confidence or the security of having insurance.
Yeah, that, and also I guess like just whenever I visit back to Hong Kong, I would just do my teeth stuff there. Like I'll just go to the
Oh,
dentist there. I wouldn't, yeah, like I would consciously avoid going to dentist in America.
yeah.
Yeah,
How frequent
until
were
then.
you, how frequent were you going back to Hong Kong?
Probably once a year.
Okay. So
Hmm.
you would do your annual checkup when you went back home.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And that seemed to work out for you.
I mean, nothing really major has happened to my
Uh,
teeth.
yeah.
Yeah, so
And I'm sure there are more important things than going to see the dentist
yeah, it's
while
like
you're
it's
going to
at
school, right?
the bottom of the list of to do. Yeah,
Right. There's your social life, there's Utah
yeah,
athletics,
yeah. There you go.
maybe there's school
Yeah.
somewhere in
Yeah.
there.
Gaming.
Yeah, got to get the essentials in.
Yeah. So,
Oh, neat. So now I assume that you're done with your assistantship,
mhm.
and then
Yep.
um, perhaps you've graduated by now.
Yep. So I graduated. I study for my CPA at the same time as I was doing my master's. Now I am an auditor. So this is my third year in my career.
Awesome, awesome. So when was the last time that you went to a dentist?
I will say about half a year ago.
Half a year ago. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. And how was that experience for you?
It was okay. I mean, I think I just went for an annual checkup, and got told that I have a cavity, which I wasn't happy about, but it was like a pretty minor one. So um, I haven't gone back.
Oh, okay.
I should have.
Okay. That's something that you're kind of postponing.
Yes, because of I guess because I was going on trips, and then work got busy, and then um I was trying out a new company, so I quit this new company. I mean, my old company, so I have a new dental plan, but then I wasn't in that company for like long. I was there maybe for like 2 months, and then I went back to my old company because I hated it. So with this insurance, thing switching back and forth, there was a wait time, for the new insurance to come, and then you work again, and then you just totally forgot about going to the dentist again.
Ah,
So
gotcha.
yeah, this is a
So
reminder for me to go back.
see, I'm doing that practice of a favor by bringing it up that you need to go back.
Yes.
When in reality, they should be doing their job and following up with you, right?
I mean, they do follow up with me through like emails and text message, but I guess most of the time, because I was working, I'm like, okay, cool, thanks for letting me know. But then I just didn't have the plan to set up another appointment. Yeah.
To commit to it.
Yeah, no.
What was their message like in their message? Did they
I
have
think
a specific date and time for you to come, or
mm,
did they give you
no,
choices for you to select?
no. It was just a message that saying, "Hey, this is just a reminder. Your last time go to the dentist was around 6 months ago. It's time for you to go back." That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and maybe an option for you to call the office and set up a time.
I think there was a link or something, but
Oh, okay.
I just,
But you never hit it.
of course not. No.
Okay, cool. I think that really helps, Harry. As dental practices are looking at your demographic, right? Those who have just recently graduated from college, from graduate school, and
Mm,
are now in, settling their roots, trying to find a more permanent position in the workforce
mhm,
and getting their health insurance in place and trying to establish a relationship with a dentist.
mm,
These are some of the variables or the challenges that people like yourself are going through.
mhm.
And what are the tactics and strategies that dental practices can employ to attract you to actually commit to come back and fill the seat, right?
Oh, so the question is like, what can they do to like make me feel more welcome to go back? And I guess like,
Yeah, I think what they need to do, and what it sounds like, maybe you can correct me, is make it more easier,
hmm,
for you to commit to being on the schedule,
okay, okay.
right? In their mind, they might have thought it was easy for you to, hey, we sent you a link, just hit the link and then select a time.
Mm-hmm,
But what do you think would be a alternative solution? What I'm proposing is for them to, in their message, just say, hey, are you available on this date at this time,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, or I think that's a great idea. Like, something like, hey, with this opening, with you know, maybe these are the opening slots, or even like they would say, just I don't know what the algorithm in their computer might do, but like, hey, maybe this person, somehow they found out, maybe this person's most available time is this, or through their history of when they make an appointment, maybe like use that and suggest a time, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, maybe if and then if they say, the message should be, okay, how about this time, this day, this day, this time, and if you would like to confirm, click the link or something. Then that will be so much easier.
Okay.
Or even just, I don't know, just call me.
Okay. You would respond better to a phone call than a text message
Yeah,
or email.
yeah, yeah. And also, like, I think, in this case, it's good to pull up like maybe my history. Maybe like last time, as in my experience, there was a cavity. Maybe bring that up, like, hey, you have a small cavity. Hey, you should really, take a look at that. Maybe that would give me a reason to go,
Ah,
instead of
right.
like now, you just send me a message just saying, hey, you haven't been to dentist for a while, go back. I'm like, okay, what's the purpose?
Yeah, right. I get it. So when we're doing marketing, we look at the demographics that we're trying to attract, and then we're also trying to look at the psychographics, or what is the motivation
Mhm.
for a patient to come into the practice. Like for yourself, it wouldn't be, hey, it's been a while, time for you to come in. The motivation would have been, hey, last time you were in, we noticed that there was a small cavity.
Mm,
You know, please come in and we can address it before it gets worse.
mhm.
Right? The longer you're away, the worse the cavity will be.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
That maybe that would be more compelling
Mm, yeah,
to bring you in.
yeah.
So in lines of the psychographics, there's this idea of social determinants of health. What are the motivations or what are the obstacles preventing people from accessing healthcare or their dental care? When you were in college, it was such a low priority for you, right?
Mm,
You're still young, but you were younger at the time, and
yeah.
you had other priorities that superseded uh, dental care. You didn't realize that you had health insurance through the school, um, but it just wasn't, something on your mind, right?
Yeah, and also like, as I said, like I go back like maybe once a year to do dental cleaning. And also, I wasn't living with my parents, because if I was, then they would be like, hey, I think it's time for you to go check your teeth. But I was young, my teeth are just doing fine. It wasn't hurting or anything.
Mhm.
So obviously like nobody's gonna be there to remind me. So
Gotcha. So you're full functioning, fully independent adult, attending
Mm,
college on your own. I think that's important to point out. Thanks for
mhm.
bringing that up.
Yeah.
Whereas others may be living at home, during these times, more and more middle age or younger 20s students, people are have returned and live back with their parents, right?
Mhm.
So perhaps the things that we're talking about, I think that's a good differentiator,
Yeah.
right? So thanks for bringing that up. So the social determinants of health, that includes, your family, kind of your social environment that you're
Mhm.
surrounding yourself. Just like you mentioned, if you were with your parents, you would have come in because of their reminder, right? But perhaps maybe if you had surrounded yourself with friends who were all pre-dental students or dental students, maybe that would have influenced you, right?
Yeah.
You going,
Yeah.
you're living in the DC, outside of Baltimore area. Um, maybe there's some health issues that are health concerns that are unique to that area that perhaps dentists could, you know, market to.
Mm.
It would be a little different than your experience there is a little different than here in Salt Lake City, right?
Mhm.
In terms of traveling, in terms of access to, food, the type of people that you're around, the population, the density of people. Those are all factors that go into your overall health, right? Maybe the health literacy in your area, I'm not sure, maybe it's high, maybe it's lower, but it's certainly different than Salt Lake City,
I would say so. Yeah.
right? And those are other factors that go into the health of patients and how they would consider it.
Yeah.
As I was going through, listing off the different social determinants of health, what would you say is a factor that affects you more? Would it be, your financial background? You've kind of mentioned that. Would it be your social setting? Would it be the education? What are some what do you think are factors that are impacting you?
Honestly, like for me, like if I have an insurance, then I will definitely go to the dentist. If I don't have an insurance, I'll probably not go if nothing is wrong. That's all I can really say.
Yeah,
I think that having an insurance is the biggest thing here.
yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of people would agree with you. Having the insurance coverage would definitely help. Depend, so yeah, um, we haven't yet discussed. Do you have any reluctance or hesitation with going into seeing the dentist?
Yes.
Um, because there's a lot of people that have that hesitation. You say yes.
Yeah. Oh
What are
yeah.
some of those hesitations?
I had a really interesting experience because I think in group back this was back in like maybe 3 years ago. This was before COVID. Um, Groupon offered like a $25 um checkup with your teeth.
Okay.
I was like, all right, well, let's go. And then it was a dentist around where I used to live near College Park. And I went into the dentist, and then they did the regular checkup, cleaning and stuff like that. I was like, cool. And then they told me that I have 7 cavities. I was like, what? Um,
Oh wow.
yeah. And then what happened was that at the end they pulled me into a room and basically ran the number of, okay, how much are these gonna be costing? And the total was like $3,500 or something like that.
Pretty
Um,
penny.
yeah. I don't know if that's a lot of money for 7 teeth, or I really don't know because I'm not a dentist. But all I know is that 35 3,500, that's a lot of money for me. Um,
Yeah.
so I didn't do anything about it until I went back to my normal dentist. Um,
In Hong Kong.
no, this is actually in also in the Silver Spring
Okay.
College Park area.
Yeah.
Um, because I just kind of want to try a new dentist. Maybe that's why I did the $25 deal. I don't remember why I did it because I had insurance back then, and I had a regular dentist that I go to, but I just went
Huh.
to this one, and then I went back to my, I think 3 months later after that visit, I went back to my regular dentist, and they're like, yeah, no, you don't have any cavities at all.
Oh
I don't know
no.
what they're talking about.
So they just lied. They were trying to get you.
I think so.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And that's and then I also read the review of that dentist,
Hmm.
the $25 deal dentist. Um, they all, a lot of reviews said the same thing. Like, the dentist told them that they have, you know, 5 cavities, 7 cavities. I don't know how many, but just a lot for just everybody. And then, when they got a second opinion, the dentist say the same thing, like, you don't have any cavities.
Oh no.
um so I think maybe like experiences like that deters me away from trusting a dentist long term. um that's kind of just a thought. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So I'm sorry that you had that type of experience. You hope that when someone is operating in your mouth, that's really invasive. That's within your space, in your bubble, literally in your mouth, right? And as that's terrible practice that they would go that far to try and deceive you and fraudulently claim that there are cavities in your mouth.
That's why it's a $25 deal.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Whenever I see something so cheap, it always raises a red flag for me,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
there's a reason why this is
Mm, yeah.
so low. Maybe it's because of the quality is so low as well. Oh, well, I'm sorry. What I was gonna ask is, do you have any fear or any fear of the drill, kind of the sound of the drill, the motor as it's going into your mouth.
No, not really.
Okay.
I think when I was a kid, maybe. But I think I kind of overcame the fear of dentists when this was right before my mission, because they had to this was back in Hong Kong as well, that I had to have my wisdom teeth pulled out.
Oh,
um and because in the US, I know that like most people, like most practice would like you know put you down, I think.
uh-huh.
To
Sedation.
Yeah. So
Yep.
yeah, your full body is
Uh-huh.
sedated. In Hong Kong, they only sedated that area.
Oh, okay.
So
So
so I
localized.
feel, oh yeah, I definitely feel everything moving there.
Ah,
Like I know exactly where everything is.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, and that was scary, and that was really painful, obviously.
Oh,
But I guess like after that experience, I was like, oh, compared to that, this is nothing. So I
interesting.
never really had any fear. No.
Okay. I was I too got my wisdom teeth taken out. I was a lot older. I was actually dating my wife at the time,
Okay.
and she went with me to the oral surgeon to get my wisdom teeth extracted. And they asked me if I wanted to go under, if I wanted to get local anesthesia. I
Mm,
Yeah, do local because
okay. Oh, okay.
I'm actually really interested in dentistry, and I wanted to feel everything.
Ah.
So as he's moving, I'm like, oh yes. and, and it didn't even occur to me that the teeth were already pulled out when they was pulled out. I could just feel the pressure, of
uh,
him move and then my head moving. After we got the teeth out, I remember telling my wife, "Dude, I feel fine. Like that was easy." And then
Man.
as I'm walking out, she's like, "Dude, this guy is all jacked up." Because I looked when I got into the car, I was like, I wanted to see, and it was like I was Dracula with blood coming down my
Oh my
face.
God.
I was completely oblivious. I had no idea what was going on.
Wow.
So yeah, the drugs got me good.
Oh, yeah, that's good though.
But yeah, modern technology, it works.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, um, any other experiences that you want to share with, your experience with dentists?
No, I think those are the major ones. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sweet. Well, I really appreciate your time and giving us the insights and your experience with dentistry and access to care. You know, what does that process look like? You transferring over from Hong Kong, you returning back to Hong Kong for your regular checkups rather than getting care here. Um, Interesting to learn about your recent experience with changing jobs, changing insurance coverage, getting that diagnosis that you do have a cavity. And I trust that it actually is a cavity, not like the other $25 place with 7 cavities.
yeah. I hope not, right? Well, I mean, like, I hope there's no cavity at all, but
Yeah,
if there's one, then there better be one.
yeah. So I'm confident that this dentist is telling you the truth. And unfortunately, there are some bad apples out there, but hopefully they don't ruin it for the rest of the good guys that are who are honest and upright, upstanding. Thanks, Harry. It's great to uh, meet with you and to learn more about your experience. And thanks for sharing everything here on the Healthy Patients, Healthy Practice podcast.
No problem. Love to. Thank you so much, Andrew. You're awesome.
Thanks so much. See you, Harry.
All right, see ya.